subtracting whole numbers. So to subtract, we're gonna line up the place values, and we're gonna work from the right to the left. So example 1. So children love fairness. We all know this. You decide to introduce subtraction knowing the fact. So you're going to pair students and give one student 12 chocolate chips and the other 9. And you tell them to find the difference between the two. Like which one has more, essentially. And how many exactly. So there could be a way to do this, right? So if both kids we're going to go ahead and just line up their chocolate chips, right? So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now the second child, right, has 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So notice, right, this is a great way to see it, right? So the students can see that one child has, right, 12 and one child has 9. And so the first child has this many more, right? So 3, right? So if we were to go 12, then minus 9, what would be left over, right? It would be this 3. So, right, so 12 minus 9 is 3, right? So if we were to like just essentially cross these out, because we took away 9 from the 12, right? So if we had 12, we took away 9 by crossing them out, we're left with 3. So that's one way to look at it. Another way a student could maybe see it, right? And so if we have a number line, so, right, so now we're just going to show 12 minus 9, another way to show. So if you have 12 and you want to subtract this 9, we're going to go down 9. So we have to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so we end up at 3, right? So another way to see it, right, is like on a number line. So this could be another way to show the students rather than doing the chocolate chips. Now let's look at some more examples. So example 2, it is 96 days until Christmas. In the time before Christmas, there are 32 days of non-school days. So how many days until Christmas are actual school days? So we're going to go 96 minus 32. So notice we lined up the place values. So we put the 1s and then the 10s. So now let's go ahead and subtract. So we're going to start on the far right. So 6 minus 2, then is 4, right? We took away 2 from the 6. Then we go to the 10 spot. We have 9 minus 3 is 6. So we have 64 days. Now let's do a quick trick. So we're going to actually estimate the numbers by rounding what we first learned earlier in this module. And then we're going to try subtracting, see if that answer is even close, right? If we were to estimate first and then see to make sure that our answer is kind of right. So if we were to round 96 to the nearest 10, we would say it's 100, right? So we're going to round. 32 gets rounded to 30. So we go ahead and subtract, right? Because that's a little bit easy to do in our head. So 100 minus 30, and that's 70. So pretty close to the 64. But this is a good way to start kind of doing this, because as we like to call it, it's like number sense, to make sure that the answer that we got makes sense. And a lot of people do this by estimating, kind of like this. So definitely use this trick. Another trick, right, could have been adding the 64 plus 32 to make sure you got 96. All right, so trick 2 is to go 32 plus 64. This is 2 plus 4, so that's 6. 3 plus 6 is 96. So it checks out, and this is pretty close. So let's look at one final example. Example 3. We're going to find the difference in cost between two preschools. If one is $6,550 per year and the other is $7,124. So let's put the larger one on top, right? Because that's what we do with this. So, and then we have this all lined up on place values, and we can go ahead and start subtracting. So we go 4 minus 0, so that's 4. 2 minus 5, well, we can't do that. We need more, so we're going to go ahead and borrow from the hundred spot. So that means we're borrowing 10 tens. So we're going to make this a 0. And if we're borrowing 10 tens, that's really going to say 10 plus 2, so that's 12. So that's why you just put the 1 right there. So now we have 12 minus 5, so that's 7. 0 minus 5 can't be done, so let's go ahead and borrow from the thousands. So we're borrowing 10 100s. So now we have 10 100s. So 10 minus 5 is 5. 6 minus 6 is 0. So the cost difference is $574.